Yo, what up, Toshi here. In today's video, we have a lot to go over. Now, I'm not going to pull any punches here. I'll be completely honest. This is the hardest patch we've had in Honkai Star Rail ever. If you are a, cultured individual like me. In today's video, I'm going to help you decide what character you should roll for the patch of 2.3. But once again, it is a very hard patch. This girl right here in the middle, Firefly, she's going to be the first character running in 2.3. This is a character a lot of you have been eagerly anticipating, and a character that definitely has been on my radar as well. I think the mech dynamic she has with Sam is absolutely sick. And I think so far she has been the coolest character in Honkai Star Rail. Don't quote me on that though, because Silverwolf is cool. But all the other Stellaron Hunters are cool as well. I think the Stellaron Hunter group has the coolest characters out of any group in the game, honestly. So the most recent character we've had that sort of works the same as Firefly is actually Boot Hill. Boot Hill is a break-oriented character that fuels that break playstyle just like Firefly does. Except Firefly is more of a, well, let's be honest here, a stronger break character, and a break character is going to give you more value than Boot Hill does. And to be honest, I think it is quite weird how Firefly is releasing right after Boot Hill, despite these two having a similar niche. You can use Firefly in single target, you can use her in blast scenarios, because she is more versatile than Boot Hill, even though they play the same way, and she has higher damage than Boot Hill. I guess Boot Hill is just going to shine in the upcoming Hunt game mode, but other than that, Firefly is just going to be the best of both worlds, as with other destruction characters. Now, the thing is, the best character you can utilize alongside Firefly is going to be the Harmony Trailblazer. And the reason why is because you want your Firefly to synergize with the super break that the Harmony Trailblazer has, with the super break that Firefly has herself. Or Sam, I should say, because Sam is the one doing the combat after all. These two characters pair extremely well, yin and yang. The best duo I can compare this to is most likely going to be Fu Xuan and Jing, for instance, because Fu Xuan enhances the performance of Jing, giving Jing everything he needs to shine as a character, whereas Harmony main character does the same thing for Firefly. And you don't even necessarily need Harmony main character. But the best thing about Harmony MC is that Harmony MC is free for everybody and one of the best options despite being free. So I'm gonna keep it a buck with you all. Just like every other team comp in the game is fueled around a certain playstyle, because that's how Honkai Star Rail has designed its in-game as it stands right now. Every team is centered around a specific way of playing the game. Ruan Mei fuels that break playstyle. She is the pillar of the team composition after all. And if you don't have Ruan Mei, I suggest you pulling for this character if you're looking to get into break effect oriented characters like Boot Hill and Firefly in 2.3. Which we're going to segue into Ruan Mei in a second because she is going to be rerunning right alongside Firefly anyways. Now, one of the things that makes Boot Hill extremely good for free to play is the fact that you can give him a ton of break effect and all the other sub stats are going to fall in line because he's able to give himself crit rate and crit damage by a percentage of his break effect, making that hybrid build for Boot Hill extremely easy to do. Whereas Firefly, much like Acheron, is kind of a whale-bait character. She's going to be great at Eidolon 0, don't get me wrong, but you're definitely going to feel a lot of the power for the character in those extra early copies that essentially makes the character break the game. I mean, literally, after all being a break effect character, I hope she would break the game. So maybe the game wants you to pick a path. Do you want to go for Eidolons for Firefly? This is a character that you have been eagerly anticipating. I'm sure a lot of you are going to be rolling for additional copies of Firefly, so therefore you need a light cone option, so whereas you don't have to go for her 5-star light cone because you're going to be using your pools for Firefly's banner, and of course if you do decide to go for her weapon, that is a-okay too. It's all up to what you want to do for your account. I'm just here presenting the options or the avenues you can go down. Flames of Far being the 4-star option you can use as a replacement for her breastplate light cone. The reason why this light cone is really good on the character is because Firefly has an HP drain, or Sam has an HP drain mechanic that allows you to stack the passive of this light cone extremely easily and deal a ton of damage. And considering it is a light cone you can easily obtain from the Memories of Chaos shop, you're going to have this light cone at max refinements without even sweating. Because Firefly and Sam is going to be doing all the sweating for you, right? But there is other light cones in the game already that you may already have a lot of investment to on your account, such as a secret vow, allowing you to do a lot more damage to the enemy target if you are lower HP than said target. And considering Firefly, Sam is a character that maneuvers around with their HP just like Blade, you'll find this light cone to have the passive for you all given times, and you'll always have that extra bit of damage dealt to the enemy. And considering the enemy will be super broken, you don't really have to worry about them attacking you too much. So therefore, while you are put in a more vulnerable state, it won't be as bad as you might think. I honestly do like the fact that Firefly is a character that is very nice for free-to-play, a lot more free-to-play friendly than Acheron, because Acheron needs some of those, or rather wants some of those premium options to make her feel like a better character overall in the team, right? Now we are going to receive some characters later down the line for Acheron to feel like a much more complete character, despite her being extremely overtuned right now, whereas Firefly is going to feel overtuned from day one, because you're going to have all those options you need for Firefly to excel at what she wants to do. And that is break the target further when they are already super broken, right? Now, as for her damage potential compared to Acheron, because I'm sure that's a question most of you have, she's going to feel very strong, much like Acheron feels strong. I mean, after all, we've seen Penacony to have a bunch of overtuned characters comparative to the previous releases of past versions, right? The DPS in Penacony have felt extremely strong, and Boot Hill is no exception either. His single target is the best single target we have in the game right now, while being a break character at that. So you can imagine how Firefly is going to perform as a break character, and right now being the mascot of Honkai Star Rail. Alongside Firefly, we have Ruan Mei, who I said previously when I was in the Firefly segment of the video, that is going to be fueling the break playstyle. So Ruan Mei essentially is going to be the character you do want to have on your account if you're looking to give Firefly the best boost overall in team performance. But you also want to take into consideration that Ruan Mei is just more than a break character. She works extremely well in other team comps in the game. She is, after all, the most universal buffer we have in the game currently. So even if you're not a fan of the break effect oriented playstyles, you can find a team comp or someone to use alongside Ruan Mei because her buffs are universal. Ruan Mei is still one of the best characters in the game, and maybe the best character in the game, arguably, because of her universal capabilities when it comes to buffing up everyone in the game. No matter who you're using in Honkai Star Rail, Ruan Mei can be one of their best buffers. For instance, take Kafka and other dot characters. They love Ruan Mei. I'll go as far as say Ruan Mei is very valuable for these characters, much like she is very valuable for the break effect characters. Because the thing is about Kafka and other dot characters, these characters want the enemy to be broken as consistently as possible, because that means more damage procs, and whenever they take their turn, depending on whether or not you had the ultimate from Ruan Mei onto those enemies at the given point of them being broken, well, whenever they take their turn, they're going to take another proc. And then depending on the type of player you are, maybe you have freeze on the enemy, they'll take a triple proc. But even if you're not a fan of the dot characters, well, the follow-up attackers can use Ruan Mei in their team party as well. Topaz is no exception. The reason why Ruan Mei is really good for the follow-up team is because you have more than one damage dealer in the team party. So Ruan Mei giving buffs to everyone in the team party, not buffs geared towards a specific character, which makes her extremely good when you're pushing out that team-oriented damage. So more than one damage dealer, even 3 damage dealers in the team party, means that they'll all benefit from Ruan Mei existing in that team party. Because characters like Topaz has backloaded damage, well, you'll have all of those buffs that Ruan Mei provides at every given point of the fight. So your Numbi is going to deal increased damage because of Ruan Mei being the buffer. Even hyper carry teams with Jinglu wants Ruan Mei, and the reason why is because Ruan Mei gives this character nice damage buffs, because Jinglu's a character that gives herself mostly attack. She doesn't really have many sources of getting damage amplifications. So when you have Ruan Mei giving you all of those damage bonuses, since you already gave yourself a ton of attack, you're getting the extra buffs you did not already have in your kit, making Jinglu hit like a truck. And in combination with Bronya giving you further damage boosts, and Bronya just being the best character to pair alongside Jinglu in the game, still, you have a very broken hyper carry combo. And that's one of the best things about Ruan Mei. She is the second best slot when it comes to hyper carry teams. Heck, even Seal really likes Ruan Mei, and the reason why is because Ruan Mei's buffs are dependent on her own turn. So therefore, if you are looking to play around with a mostly Harmony setup instead of putting Seal in a mono quantum team, you'll find Ruan Mei to be the best character you can use in that team. And I really enjoyed using Ruan Mei alongside Seal and even throwing Robin in there too. Having a double, even triple Harmony setup with Seal to where you just deal so much damage to the enemy and take so many turns. You don't have to worry about having a defensive option in your team comp because you are the defensive option. You use your HP as the shield essentially. And heck, if you pulled for Boot Hill, then Ruan Mei is a character you're going to want to roll for because Ruan Mei allows Boot Hill to do everything he wants to do as a break effect character. She fuels the break effect playstyle after all. And remember, Ruan Mei became even better a buffer because now she's giving further break effect to the team. 30% extra break effect on top of the 20% she already gives means that 50% break effect on top of the break effect that the Harmony MC is giving to your Firefly or Boot Hill, depending on who you're using alongside these two characters, is going to be a lot of external source of break effect you're getting from your supports. So Ruan Mei became a necessary character for a lot of team comps in the game because she is the best character you can roll for because of how universal she is. So if you are just looking at the fact that Ruan Mei is a character that is just broken so you don't want to roll for her, take this into consideration. Any character in the game, any future character you decide to roll for damage dealer wise is going to be best friends with Ruan Mei. So therefore your favorite characters will be a lot better if you have Ruan Mei on your account. So maybe that will be the deciding factor whether or not you should roll for Ruan Mei. So the IPC has a new baddie in town, and that character is no other than Jade. Jade is a character that I'm going to be rolling for one reason and one reason only. I want her to essentially, okay, well I can't say that on camera, but you all know exactly what I'm insinuating. And she's a character that I'm assuming a lot of you will be rolling for because maybe you're a fan of the follow-up attack characters or maybe you just like the IPC baddies because they are a bunch of cool-looking characters after all. I gotta give them props. Their designs are just meticulous. Now, is Hoyoverse going to pull a Acheron and Black Swan with Jade and Topaz? We'll have to wait and see if you see or essentially pick up what I'm putting down. But all I can say is that Jade is a character that may end up working in the same team alongside Topaz. It really just depends on the type of player you are. Are you a player that is looking to have the best pairing for your characters? Or are you a player that is looking to just have fun? If you are players looking to just have fun, then heck, you can throw these two in a team and it's going to be fun after all. And the reason why is because you've been using Dr. Ratio alongside your Topaz, who has been giving your Topaz essentially the follow-up advances she needed for Numby. Well, Jade is going to do the same too, and Jade has AoE in her kit. But she's going to be more comparable to a pre-existing character we have in the game that you all received at some point for free. And that character is no other than QQ, or Xingxie. This character has been a lot of fun to use, but the fun must come to an end. I don't want to play with you anymore. Jade is the new Xingxie, and I cannot wait for the release of this character. She's not going to have as much RNG in her kit as this character does have. That's more than enough for me to be happy, because I'm tired of essentially losing runs because I've run out of skill points to use on this character. You can never have enough skill points on this character, whereas Jade is just going to take all of your Stellar Jades. I'd rather Jade take my Stellar Jades than QQ take my skill points. That's just me personally. What I can say about Jade, though, that I find really cool is that if you actually were a player that rolled for before dawn in your account, you can use this light cone on Jade. And the reason why is because you're getting a fat crit damage increase, right? She's a part of the Erudition path, so you get that passive. And then you're getting a skill and ultimate damage increase. For Jade, that's pretty nice because she deals a ton of damage with her ultimate. And then when you use your ultimate or your skill, then you have the follow-up attack buff, which then deals even more damage for your follow-up attacks. So therefore, Jade is going to be putting out a ton of damage with this light cone, to the point where you may not even need to roll for her 5-star light cone, but maybe you are going to roll for it anyways because you already have this light cone in your Jing or your QQ if you're still using her. But this is just how it goes in Honkai Star Rail. Everyone wants to use hyper carry. So is Jade going to be a character you can use in a hyper carry team? I'm going to say absolutely, because considering she is a quantum character, Sparkle is the best hyper carry character or hyper carry eccentric playstyle character in the game right now. Remember, Mono Quantum is still a hyper carry team comp. It's just a hyper carry full of quantum characters. Jade is going to like Sparkle because Sparkle gives you a ton of extra attack if you are a quantum character in the same team party as her. That's very nice. So if you are already a fan of Monoquantum, then you're going to be a fan of Jade, because you can just throw her in team replacing your damage dealer. If you find yourself using the Monoquantum team comp in AoE scenarios, maybe you could throw Solarwolf out of the team and throw someone else in there. I mean, after all, Jade does have Blast in her kit, which means she pairs nicely with Solarwolf still because of the defense shred. Remember, with Blast attacks, most of your damage is around that single hit, and then the adjacent hits has a percentage of that main hit damage for most characters in the game anyways. But I heard through the grapevine that she works pretty well with Blade, because she does drain the HP of your ally, which means characters that want their HP sucked like Blade is going to find themselves pairing nicely alongside Jade. But that's only if it's actually true. Again, the character hasn't released yet, so we really have no way of knowing for sure. But what I can say for certain is that Jade is definitely going to be putting out more damage than Blade. It just comes with being a Pentacon and a part of the IPC at that. So maybe you are a 1.0 player and you already have Seal in your account, and maybe you use Seal for Purification. So maybe you don't need to roll for Jade for Purification. I can say for certain that Jade is going to be a much more comfortable character to use in Purification, because we are getting to the point with Seal teams anyways, where the enemy has so much HP, it's really hard to get those additional resets with Seal. Therefore, depending on the investment you have on your Seal, you're going to find her even harder to use when we go into the future with Purification. Whereas Jade is going to be able to comfortably clear for you without having to worry about that than you do with Seal. Because Jade doesn't need a take turn mechanic to deal AoE damage or pseudo AoE. She just does AoE damage in her kit. So for me personally, Jade is definitely going to be the character I roll for first and foremost, because A, she's a quantum character, and B, she has pink hair. Need I say more? I cannot wait to use her, and honestly, the IPC team with Topaz, Aventurine, Robin, I can't wait to use her. Oh my god, I just remembered. Robin is going to be one of the best characters pair alongside her. I can envision a team where I have Sparkle, Robin, Jade, and then Fu Xuan. That team sounds really cracked, honestly, and I cannot wait to try it out. We'll try it out day one when she releases. That's going to be extremely fun. But anyways, I ran off on a tangent there. Jade is definitely the character I'll be rolling for my account, because I find her to be the most enticing because of all the things I mentioned before. But is she a character you should roll for? Honestly, ask yourself this. Do you want to be stepped on? Yes or no? If you answer that question, then that answer should be your answer to whether or not you should roll for her. Argenti, sweet ol' Argenti. He has my favorite male design in all Honkai Star Rail. I believe Honkai Star Rail's male characters peaked around the time Argenti released. But that's just me personally. Don't get me wrong, Aventurine looks pretty good too, but he doesn't even hold a candle to Argenti. That's just my opinion though. Or he can't even hold a rose either. Maybe he can. Argenti is a character that has a lot of value in Honkai Star Rail as it stands right now, because he still has the highest AoE screenshot damage out of any other character. The character that comes close to him is Acheron, but that's talking E0. E0, Argenti still slays. He is one of the best characters in the game for AoE contents. Probably the best character still, because in pure fiction, he clears everything easily. All he needs is energy, but he gets energy from his kit, and he gets energy from taking turns with buffers. Bronya, Sparkle, so on and so forth. Ting Yun giving him energy. These options already exist in the game. So if you have these characters on your account, then Argenti is going to be a character that will have a lot of value for you when it comes to tackling Purification. And do take this into consideration, because I do believe this is an argument a lot of people may have. At a certain point, you're going to want to roll for AoE damage dealers anyways, because Memories of Chaos does get harder, right? So you're going to need to either get better buffers, get better substats, or get better characters. Argenti for AoE content is kind of like that. You're going to want to eventually upgrade your AoE characters, because this is going to get harder. Do you want to invest some more stats on your AoE damage dealers, or do you want a better AoE damage dealer? Better buffers, sure, but those enemies have a ton of HP, and Argenti just clears so comfortably. So you can pour Argenti now and never really have to worry about one of your teams for Purification. Well, that's just my opinion personally. But Argenti does work really nicely in the Memories of Chaos when there is a bunch of enemies weak to physical, so do take that into consideration as well. It's just that his damage does fall off a little bit if there is no enemies weak to physical. And of course, if there really isn't many enemies on the field, because he needs that energy that they give him whenever they spawn in, of course, right? And whenever he attacks with his elemental skill. But you don't really need another physical character, because maybe you roll for Boot Hill and you're using Boot Hill in Memories of Chaos. Maybe you're using Boot Hill in the upcoming Hunt game mode. So you don't need another physical damage dealer, right? And this is even worse with the drip tease of Yunli. Yun Li is a character that is physical destruction, meaning she's going to have AoE in her kit, or blasts most likely. So therefore, Argenti has even less of pool value now, because we have a upcoming blast destruction character that is going to deal a ton of damage because, well, they are a post 2.0 character. So, damn, maybe you probably should just skip Argenti. Now, I've said this before, and we've made a video on Clara not that long ago that took a deep dive into Clara's history in Honkai Star Rail. And Argenti was definitely a part of that history, being a better Clara essentially for physical weak enemies. But Clara still holds her own against enemies that are weak to physical. You just have to throw her into the follow-up attack team because that's pretty much where she excels now. Alongside Robin, she has a ton of damage with her follow-up attacks. And Yun Li, being a destruction physical character, we can probably expect her to do the same thing too. And because Robin is a character that currently exists in the game right now, that means Yun Li is going to be extremely strong. And again, I keep bringing up these pre-existing and upcoming physical characters, but you need to take into consideration that physical as an element for damage dealers is pretty saturated right now. So Argenti has even less pull value. Only pull for him if you like his design or if you want a character for pure fiction. But even then, Clara still works nicely in pure fiction because she has AoE with her elemental skill and she has blast with her follow-up attack, enhanced attack with, well, you see on the screen, Varog. But don't get me wrong, this guy still puts out a ton of damage. And for any AoE content in the game, he is the most comfortable character to use. The most comfortable character. So if you are a fan of comfort, that also may be a reason to roll for him. And remember, everyone received Make the World Clamor in the beginning of your journey to Honkai Star Rail, right? When you made your account. So you have this light cone in your possession already. And it gives you everything you need for Argenti. The energy whenever you start the fight. And then the ultimate damage you deal to the enemy is increased. So therefore, you have the best option for 4 stars you can use on Argenti on your account. So he's a lot more free-to-play friendly than you might think. You just need to have this light cone on your account, which all of you do have. And if you have refinements, that's even better. Because up to 64% ultimate damage increase for an ultimate damage central character that has the best screenshot AoE damage, I'm telling you, his damage is insane for a reason. So there you have it. As always, these videos are very fun to make. I just like talking about new characters, honestly. It's just the one time where I can ramble to my heart's content. With that being said, who should you roll for out of all the characters presented to you in this video? If I'm being completely honest here, the character that has the best value is, of course, going to be the support character. In this case, Ruan Mei. But if we're being completely honest here, which I assume a lot of people already have Ruan Mei, so who should you roll for out of all the 3 other characters, right? Because they're all damage dealers. 2 being erudition, and then 1 being destruction. Well, obviously, Firefly is going to be the best pull character here because if you already have Ruan Mei, you have Harmony MC by just completing the story, right? Then you have your clear winner right there because that's pretty much all else you need is just the damage dealer. In this case, being the first character of the patch. And the coolest character of that in all of Honkai Star Rail, so what's more not to be a reason to roll for the character. But aside from that, I'm personally going to go for Jade because she looks the hottest, and that's kind of all I really care about these days, right? That's the video here. Thanks for watching, and have a nice rest of your day. Good luck. Peace.